Your second venture, MapMyGenome, how different it is from your first venture, OCM Biosolutions? What are the fundamental differences between these two ventures?
MapMyGenome is more a consumer-facing company.
Sure.
We have ways of we send out our first product, which is Genomepatri, is something that people can order online. Right? They can get it in their house and they can just do a little swab. We get their saliva, or you can send blood sample, and then you are able to get a vast amount of information about your DNA. And
Sure.
I think that is what is exciting, and that's what we're doing at MapMyGenome. What a Genomepatri does, and I should have shown you how the kit looks like. But you take this little kit, you take the saliva, and what we are doing in a Genomepatri is a comprehensive view of what you can look at in terms of your traits. And traits would be things like, are you likely to likely to put on weight? Are you likely to what sort of vitamins are you likely to be deficient in? What kind of are you likely to run? A sprint race. Are you likely to be an endurance athlete? Are you likely to be resilient? So, and also things like are you likely to have high blood pressure, which is quite common in Indians.
Sure.
And similarly, there are many such traits, right? So that would be one category of things information that you get in genome.
Sure.
And the second, which is probably which is an important aspect, is to understand common diseases like diabetes, cancer, other neurological conditions, and all, by understanding the risk that you might have. Right? Third is understanding that are you a carrier of a certain mutation, which will ultimately be passed on to the next generation if your partner also has that. Right? That's the third.
Sure.
And the fourth is understanding how drugs work for you. Right? So you might find that in some people, metformin, which is a common drug for diabetes, will work very well. For others, it will not. Similarly, I think there are other drugs like clopidogrel and many others that 30-40% of the people might not respond well to it. So it helps you understand both, how you can metabolize the drug, but also whether that drug is likely to be toxic for you.
Can it be rectified? Let's say if someone is likely to contract cancer, or someone is likely to contract diabetes in the future, can something be done about it?
Absolutely. So the whole purpose of doing a Genomepatri is so that you can do something about it, right? And if you look at most of these diseases like diabetes, cancer, and all, they are all what we call as the multifactorial. They have many genes that are involved. Right? So polygenic risk score is what we are calculating, which means that we are calculating a risk score. It is not an absolute diagnosis. So when I said that I'm at risk for diabetes, I don't have diabetes, right? I have a risk for diabetes, but because I have a risk, I do all the things that are necessary so that I don't get diabetes.
Sure.
So when you look at a lot of lifestyle diseases like diabetes and others, you'll find that a large portion of them is preventable, largely preventable. So 60% of diabetes is preventable, 50% of cancers are preventable. So Genomepatri is like your Google map.
Sure.
What it's doing is it's telling you that you have a risk for type 2 diabetes, which means you don't eat a lot of, for instance, carbs. You are going to make sure that you take the right precautions for that. And as a result, the whole idea is that you don't get diabetes.
That brings me to my last question. That is about the economics. And economics from a common person's perspective, because as you said that the whole idea of MapMyGenomics is to make the technology, to make this concept accessible to people. So what you have told me, is it a very esoteric, very niche kind of a concept, or is it accessible to common middle class people as well?
So it's absolutely accessible, but I just want to give a little context. I think in 2001, when we were just starting the first venture, the Human Genome Project had just completed. It took a few $1 billion, and it took many different scientists putting it together. I think today, and even when we started in MapMyGenome, we started at a price point of 25,000 for a Genomepatri. Today we brought it down to 6,400, right? And this is including the first report, it's including sending a shipment to your house, collecting it back from you, and genetic counseling, and then a personalized report that will tell you what you can do about it, and putting all of these pieces together. So it is like ordering anything on, you can go to Amazon or MapMyGenome or anywhere. You order the test, you get a kit in the mail, right? So within 24 hours, you get a courier. You basically take it, and I think most of us are familiar with swabbing now.
Yeah, yeah.
But instead of doing a throat swab or a nasal swab, what you do is a cheek swab. So you're taking it's like brushing your teeth, but brushing your cheeks instead.
Okay.
So you do that, you put it in, and then we get this kit collected from your house. So it is not a difficult thing at all. And once you send the kit back, your report comes on email. If you want, you get a printed report, and you get a counseling session that can be done anywhere in the country.
For more such fine stories and video reports from field, subscribe to our channel, The New Indian.